Welcome back to One Mat series. My name is Mihail from Broadview Fitness. One Mat series of videos are full body workouts that you can do in a relatively short period of time with no equipment necessary. I do, however, recommend one mat, a standard yoga mat to help you develop a habit, a ritual of setting down your mat, setting aside distractions, and setting your mind to the task at hand, improving your body. Today, we're going to do a beginner's workout. We're going to make things a little bit more accessible by keeping the movement simple, slowing things down to give you a chance to settle into your body. Let's start with a warm-up. Let's start the warm-up with some shoulder rolls. You're going to roll the shoulders back, exaggerating the movement, lifting them high, far back, low, far forward, full range, circling through the whole joint. Set your feet parallel, as if they're on train tracks, and we're going to add to the shoulders a little knee bend. Every time the shoulders go back and down, you sit back and down with them. We're trying to get the joints moving, getting some blood flow, increasing the range of motion, and reducing the risk of injury. Nice. Forget the shoulders. Keep the legs going though. Sitting back, pressing through. Sitting back, pressing through. One more. Very nice. Now come up, all the way up onto the balls of the feet. So you're coming up to your toes. Now take a moment here, find your balance. You might find that you have to come up and down a couple of times before you can really settle into it. Once you're up here, let one heel drop down and then switch. Pedaling through the feet. Really allow the articulation to happen through the foot. Nice and soft, and we're going to build this up. Start the toes coming off of the mat. Take that into a jog-on-the-spot. Excellent. Once you find your jogging rhythm, focus on your breath. Nice, getting some blood flowing through the body. Let's change up the footwork. You're going to step wide and together, wide, together. Excellent. Just finding a small hop, letting the feet go in and out. This is just the bottom half of a jumping jack. If you'd like, you're welcome to add the hands. If you're finding that challenging enough, just jumping the feet, keep that going. Let's come back to center, up to your toes, pedal the feet, and right through the jog again. Excellent. Good. Let's step over to one side of the mat. Now we got a little bit of blood flowing through the body, so let's move through a greater range of motion. Feet right together. Hands up to touch the ceiling. Exhale, folding forward, let the weight of your head take you forward. Bend the knees enough so that your hands can touch the mat. Keep breathing. Find your hands all the way on the mat and then step out into a plank. Take the hips back to downward dog, chest forward to the plank, and it keeps traveling forward to an up dog. Here you should not be feeling a pinch in your lower back. Think more of sending your rib cage forward where the wall meets the ceiling. And send the hips back, and use your hands to walk yourself back onto your feet, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae, reassembling your spine. Head is the last thing to come up. Let's do that one more time. Feet right together, big breath in. Stretching out of your hips, touch the ceiling. Exhale. Touch the floor. Keep the knees soft. You don't need to lock out your legs. You'd like to feel a little bit of a stretch, but it should be very comfortable. Stepping back to a plank. Hips back to downward dog. Chest forward to the plank, past the plank all the way up to up dog. Do not crunch your neck. Allow the head to be longer, the neck to be long. Pull the hips back to downward dog. One more time, use your hands to get back onto your legs. Roll the shoulders back. At this point, your body should feel warmer, and we can start with mini circuit number 1. Mini circuit number 1. We're going to do a leg movement and then a standing ab movement. Part 1, standing leg swing. You're going to stand on one leg. Then you're going to send the leg that's up, you're going to send it back into a lunge, and that arm is going to reach forward. So from the side, it'll look like this. And all you're going to do is swing that leg forward and back to where you started. Forward and back. As you get comfortable with the movement, you can start going a little lower. What's important to note here is that you're not thinking about swinging your whole body back and forward. You're actually staying on top of the standing leg and sitting down as this leg goes back. So you kind of have an up and down movement with the body. And the standing leg is doing a little squat the whole time. So you're going bend, up, as the leg swings. You'll find that take a moment to get the arms right because they will help you with it. If you have the arms going the wrong way, you're going to throw yourself off. So let's try it on the other leg. Standing on the left leg, right hand forward, right leg back, and then the arms twist as the leg comes through. Start high, and get a little lower. Nice, and allowing the leg to be free, your focus is on your breath and on your range of motion, allowing yourself to swing through, swing low, swing through, low, one more, excellent. Part 2, slightly wider stance with your feet, hips sit down and may stay where they are. Chest begins to rotate. So you're going to do a twist of your torso. You can clasp your hands together and let that act as a weight that swings you from side to side. It is important here to allow your rib cage to move freely of your pelvis. If you're moving everything together, you're not going to get the work we're looking for in the obliques, so the sides of the abdominals. And you're also going to add a lot of tension onto your knees as you twist from the knee. So you want the hips to stay and let yourself twist use the spine as your axis of rotation, spinning side to side. One of the important movements, or the important parts to keep in mind, is that it's the change of direction that actually gives you the most work. It's not about swinging as far over as you can, it's about keeping it tight. But first thing, focus on that separation of hips and rib cage. Excellent. Take a rest. Let's go into mini circuit number 2. Mini circuit number 2, a combination of a squat and a full plank. For the squat, set your feet, as we did in the warm-up, on train tracks, so they are parallel. If you're tracking from the middle of your foot, goes up through the knee and right where the bones come into the pelvis. So it's not as wide as your hips, it's a little bit narrower than that. Cross your hands across your chest, then sit back and reach your elbows towards your knees. We're going to do this 10 times. I'm going to turn to the side to show you the pelvis. So here, as you're reaching back, your pelvis reaches back. So think, butt goes towards a chair. You do not want your knees reaching forward. You want your hips reaching back. Excellent. One more, and then we're going to switch forward into a full plank. In the plank position, you want your hands to be right underneath your shoulders. Your hips are not dropping down. When you do that, you'll get a lot of tension to your back. You want to have them right in line. You'll find that as you get tired, or if you're not feeling very confident, that your hips will be a little higher. That's all right, but try to work down, 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 until you're in a nice straight line with that belly button engaged, pushing up towards your spine, supporting your back. Excellent. Good. Coming down. Nice and simple. Squat, full plank. Let's learn mini circuit number 3. In mini circuit number 3, we're going to revisit some of the movements we did in the warm-up. Let's start with jogging on the spot. We're going to do about 10 seconds, basic jogging on the spot, focusing on your feet, focusing on your breathing, nice and light. You should not be stomping around. You should feel like a cat. Nice and soft. Excellent. For the next 10 seconds, let's bring the knees up really high. Now you can put your hands in front and try to hit your palms Or you can keep them swinging, just keep driving the knees high. Now for the final 10 seconds, we're gonna come back to the regular jog and kick back. Try and reach your heels towards your butt. Keeping the abdominals in, don't let your rib cage push out. Keep a nice posture, kicking back. Excellent, that's part one. Part two, we come down to a full plank, as we did in the previous circuit, and then we go back to downward dog. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. I call these plank dogs. Going forward and back. Let's do 3 more. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Excellent. Good. Take a moment here. Stretch out the backs of your legs. Good. Let's come on up to standing again, bending the knees. Roll up through the spine. Let the shoulders relax. And let's learn mini circuit number 4. For mini circuit number 4, we're going to start with a wide squat. So the positioning is slightly wider than your hips. So the first squats we did were parallel, train tracks. Now we take each foot out 45 degrees or 90 degrees from each other. And you're going to sit the hips right down in the center. Coming down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. A couple of points to remember. 1, wherever you set your feet, that's where your knees are going to go to as you sit down. It's very common for people to stick their feet to the floor in a really wide turned out position and have the knees keep going forward. You need to keep pushing the knees outwards, engaging your abductor side of the legs and your glutes as you come up. Squeeze your glutes. Different than in a regular squat when you're sitting back, in this squat you're sitting down. For those of you that have taken ballet, you can think of it as second position plie. And if you're not a big fan of the second position plie, keep thinking of it as a wide squat. 1 more, engaging the knees, pushing outwards, 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 and squeezing your glutes. Coming up. You may have felt a little stretch in the inner thighs in that movement. If you felt that it was a little overwhelming, bring the feet a little closer. If it was just about right, then it's going to be great to use for this next movement. We're going to come into an elbow plank. The first planks we did were up high on our hands. We're going to take it down to the elbows. If you find that this is challenging enough, try to hold it for about 10 to 15 seconds. If you're good here, let's go into a Spiderman Plank. So you drive the knee sideways, alternating legs. The goal here is to try to push that knee up, off the floor, and forward as far as you can. Keep the movement smooth, don't jerk through it. It doesn't really matter how high you lift it. You don't need to go launch it up, you just need to lift. 1 more, excellent. Coming back, catch your breath. Let's learn movement number 5. For mini circuit number 5, we're going to work on that long lunge that we did in our first movement with the leg swing, or we're just going to hold it while we do some work with our arms. So bring your feet back to that parallel squat position and take 1 foot back and bend the back knee and just hold this long lunge. So from the side, it's going to look like this. If you're worried about how long should I be, am I too wide, am I too narrow, a good way to figure that out is to let the knee come down. And you're looking for roughly 90 degrees with the back leg, 90 degrees with the front leg, and when you come up, just keeping the back knee soft, so slightly bent, and the back heel is up the whole time. If you try to push the back heel down, you'll find that you'll lose your balance moving your weight backwards. So stay right in the middle. Arms are going to come straight out to the side, and you're going to do tiny little circles forward. We're aiming for about 10 circles forward, and then another 10 circles back. Staying in the low position. Now we're going to switch our feet. Keep the hands up, switch feet. Tiny circles forward. Keep breathing, keep the abdominals engaged. Long spine, so not starting to fall over. Taking it back. Really solid in the leg position. You're going to find one of the challenging parts of this is going to be the shoulders from swinging, but also the balance from having to stay in this low squat position. Excellent. Bring the feet together. step over to one side. Movement number 2, side hop. Hop. Finding a nice rhythm, 20 times side to side. Just pick something in the center. So let's say if you're standing in front of your computer or TV right now, jump from one side of it to the other. 3, 2, 1, done. That's 5 mini circuits that we've learned. Take your time, make sure you're comfortable with the movements, and let's head over to the super circuit. All right, now that you're comfortable with the movements that we just learned, it's showtime. Super circuit. We start with the leg swing, work all the way through to the side hops, no rest in between. Let's start with the first part. Standing on one leg. I'm starting on my right leg, left leg goes back, left hand is forward, 10 swings. 1, 2, 3, good. You're thinking about up and down, not back and forth, allowing the arms to swing, focusing on your range of motion. Let's do one more. Excellent. Switch legs. Standing on your left leg, right leg back, right hand forward. Here we go. Swing, lunge. Swing, lunge. You'll notice that I'm swinging my leg. I'm not kicking it. I don't want to necessarily flex the knee and kind of go through a kicking motion. I'd rather think about full extension of the leg. The knee is bent, but it's not whipping out. Just swinging high, long lunge, high, long lunge. Excellent. Part 2. Wide stance, hands together, side to side. Focusing on keeping the hips still. There should be no activity below the waist. Focusing on your rib cage, swinging side to side. Reducing the range of motion, focusing on a quick change of directions. Let's see if you can go as fast as you can without losing the form. Excellent, good. Bringing the feet onto parallel. Train tracks position. Hands are crossed, sitting back and up. Back, up. That's 3. We're going to 10. 4. I'm going to take it to the side. You can keep facing forward, side. 2, 3 more. 3, 2, and this one we shift over into the full plank. We're going to hold 15 seconds here. Now because you're not moving, it gives you a chance to focus on your breath. Keep breathing. Make sure your hips don't start dropping. Keep them up. Keep the abdominals pushed up towards your spine, providing support for your lower back. Excellent. Coming up. Let's take that to a jog on the spot. Going to do 10 seconds here. Keep focusing on a nice soft landing through the feet. Nice and soft. Excellent. We're going to start driving the knees high. Aim the knees to the ceiling. Good. You take them as high as you can. If you find that this movement is a bit uncomfortable, you can keep the knees a little lower, but try to challenge yourself. Drive the knees, and now we kick back. Good. Kicking back. Engaging your hamstrings, the backs of the legs. Trying to kick yourself in the butt. Excellent. Bringing it down, back to the plank. Well, let's get a little more dynamic. Send it back to downward dog. Inhale. That's 3. We're going to 10. 4. And we're halfway there. When you transition between the movements, remember what a plank is supposed to look like. Don't let yourself drop. Keep the hips in line. Hips go back. Perfect line. One more. Beautiful. Push yourself up. Let's get a little bit of shoulder work in there. Good. Wide stance. Feet 45 degrees from the center line, 90 degrees from each other. Sitting down in the middle, coming up. You can have your hands on your hips. I personally prefer my hands forward. Helps me balance and keeps them out of the way. And if you're trying to really work towards that ballet squat or that ballet plie, you can take your hands out to the side as well. Let's do 2 more. Sitting right down the middle. Squeeze your glutes to come up. Right down the middle. Squeezing your glutes to come up. Let's take it down to the plank again. This time, elbow plank. If this is as far as you come, stay here, hang in as long as you can. If you like, you can start testing your balance by lifting one foot, lifting the other foot, and if you're ready, full Spiderman plank, drive the knees up. That's 4, we're going to 10. That's 6, 7, 8, last 2, 9, 10, we're almost there. Let's Let's come on up to standing. Split squat position. So this lunge, arms go straight out to the side, circles forward. Think of circling from the upper arm, not just your wrist, the whole arm. Change directions. Good posture, solid leg stance, your back heel is up. Keep your hands where they are, switch your feet. Excellent, circles forward, nice, strong, quick circles. Abdominals engaged, don't let your body swing with your arms, keeping everything still but relaxed. And moving backwards, excellent. Bring everything together, step to one side, side hops, last part. Nice, try to keep the feet together. If you're finding that you're a little bit uncomfortable with the movement, start it a little smaller and just focusing on nice soft landings. If you really want to go for it, make it a little bigger, but keep up your rhythm and we're done. That's a super circuit one time. If you still have something left in the tank, hit that button, start it again, go for it. If not, go and have a look at one of our stretch videos. Let your body start cooling down. Take advantage of all the heat in the body to improve your range of motion. Enjoy the day. We'll see you again tomorrow.